Capitalism, socialism, communism. There are so many isms. Capitalism is the best. I vote for capitalism. I don't think it's ever actually been done in its truest form. It's a little bit of a mix of a whole bunch of different things, but again, it does work. Socialism doesn't work so much. Capitalism and socialism are somewhat opposing schools of thought. Okay, I mean, we all kind of know that. The central arguments in the socialism system versus the capitalist system is about the role of government. They want government to think for everybody because we're too stupid, okay? And that's just kind of a bad thing. I mean, capitalists believe the government does not use economic resources efficiently, and private enterprise needs to do it more efficiently and create jobs, and the playing field needs to be kind of left alone, you know, without that interference that is constantly going on. In other words, it's about the free market, okay? And communism, that's socialism in a hurry. And I mean, you go that direction. And all these politicians, really, they are socialists because they don't want us to do things because they're so full of activity without achievement. They're continually telling us how dumb we are. And we don't even get it because it's such a process, right? Over the last 30 or 40 years, we've been brainwashed into thinking that they can think for us. And we need to snap out of it and come around and act accordingly. I mean, dumb is forever, but you can get rid of stupid. You got to just go and vote, knowing that stupid often kind of fixes things at the station. I mean, often it's not who votes that counts, it's who counts the votes that count, right? And these people are as crooked as a dog's hind leg, and you got to kind of watch all of that. You got to be involved. Get involved because we will win. We will win because they have to have us. This is the difference. The left has to have the right because they take our money. The right doesn't need the left. They give us nothing but pain and aggravation. If we all went away, they got to be right. They got to move over to the right because it can't work their way. I mean, history shows that, everything shows that, but don't let a fact get in your way ever, and these people are nuts. It's a brain disease. Dumb is forever, and it's up to us to kind of save the day. Here's an article, for instance, in Canada, the Globe and Mail. It just made me crazy when I read it. It was about school children, how they're giving awards to everybody just for showing up because, hey, you're here, you get a prize. You no longer get a prize in many schools in British Columbia and in Ontario if you win a race. You don't get a prize. Everybody gets a prize. What does that do to you? Again, that's socialism on steroids. I mean, the intent is to reward just for showing up. I mean, get rid of all the generosity. It drives me to distraction. I get fired up, particularly about this portion that references encouraging high achievers to hold back their enthusiasm for learning so others can catch up. Holy crap. I mean, that's just unbelievable. Slow down because other people look at Matt. That ain't what it's about. If you go fast, other people look at you and say, I'm inspired now. And it creates a whole system. You can't do what these lunatics are trying to do. I mean, and go to schools now in Canada. I'm focused on the Canadian thing. I mean, in kindergarten, they're teaching things to all be equal and all, you know, homosexuality is wonderful and on and on. Parents, when I was a kid, my parents just sent me to school. I had to learn how to add and subtract. Kids are coming out of school now. They can't tell time. They can't tie their shoes. But they know all about the homosexual thing. I almost said a bad word, did I? I almost called them queer. Son of a gun. But you know what? It is queer. It's queer behavior, particularly when you're teaching little children that. I mean, this thing is wild. So in school, we're going to award you for showing up. We're going to tell you about this alternative lifestyle, how good it is. And parents are letting it happen. Are they bad parents? No, they're not. They're just being parents. They don't even know what's happening, or they can't think about it because they're trying to support that kid. And they're trying to support their dogs and cats and wives and husbands and so on. They're going to work because they have to work extra hard now because the tax system is so ridiculous again. And the government has done that intentionally. Go to British Columbia, Saskatchewan. I get a kick out of Saskatchewan. I was walking the other day with a group of guys from Saskatchewan, and they said, our premier's retiring. Oh, so sad, and woe was us. He's so conservative. I said, hold it. He's been there 13 years. Firstly, he should have been gone after 8. There should be term limits. You need fresh blood and fresh ideas. And secondly, you think he's a capitalist? Yeah. But you still have a state-owned this, a state-owned that. Car insurance, your choice is gone. They took your choice away. And he didn't, that was the NDP, the socialist government, I get it, but he didn't fix it. He said 13 years, I think it is 13, to change it. He chose not to, and he's a capitalist, give me a rest. And then you bump over to Alberta. I'm a conservative, elect me again. Hold it. Yeah, I got the state-owned banks and golf courses, 250 golf courses in Alberta alone are owned by the government. Go back to Saskatchewan, it's even worse proportionally. And these are people who think they're on the right. Duh, there ain't no thinking going on. I mean, they're better in terms of choice, but everything needs to kind of go past that. And it is up to us because it's a bad system. For instance, in the United States, I want to quickly tell you about fake news. Fake news is going on. Here's a guy, his name is Senator Bob Menendez, ZDDD. He's facing a bribery trial, and yet the media is dead silent on it. He's had 12 corruption-related counts, including 6 counts of bribery and several counts of honest service fraud, right? Whatever that term is, it's kind of a new one on me, but it's kind of neat. I used to be an auctioneer. You still with me? I'm just starting to get revved up because this stuff does make me crazy. New York Times reported this a little bit. They somehow forgot to mention he was a Democrat. Now let's swing over to the Trump clan, right? If that was one of somebody, a Republican who worked for Trump, holy moly, you'd still be reading about this every minute of every day. That's the left. They're powerful. They're winning. You know what? They're dumb forever. We need to get organized and fix all of this nonsense, and let's have a life. And the left benefits from that because we create things. They take things. See ya.